This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
You're watching INCRadio. INCRadio.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. I am Terry Soriano, coming live to you from Fresno, California. Once again, we have such a special show for you today. Why do you say, you might say, well, why is it so special? Well, because we are celebrating with Lemoore their 41st anniversary. Yes. Give us some hand over here. Thank you so much. But before we go to our discussion, one more thing. Alongside me is the one and only Jill. Hi, Jill. How are you?
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning into our show, as usual, here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am Jill San Antonio, coming to you live from Santa Maria. Thank you so much, and pass it back to you, Sister Terry.
All right. Thank you so much, Jill. So before we get to our discussion and introduce to you our panelists, what we will be talking about, of course, is Lemoore, the beginning of Lemoore, their experiences, and they're going to tell us these amazing stories and how they ended up in Lemoore. But first, I'd like to give you some facts about Lemoore so that when you come to Lemoore, you know something about it. When somebody asks you about Lemoore, you know something about it, and you'll know the answers to their questions. So number one, Lemoore is in the Kings County. Okay. Number two, it is in the central San Joaquin Valley of California region. And then also it is roughly 30 miles south of Fresno. Also, population for Lemoore is about 27,000 as of 2023. And then, so Lemoore has such a diverse population, strongly Hispanic, and a military community, okay? And also the highway that runs through Lemoore is none other than 198, Highway 198. And then also, of course, they have the nearest airport, which is the Fresno Yosemite International Airport. And then the major employers for Lemoore is the NAS. NAS stands for the Naval Air Station in Lemoore, and it houses the FA-18 Super Hornet squadrons. So I hope somebody will let us know something about that. And the last one, or two more, the crops that grow in Lemoore are tomatoes, almonds, cottons, and things like that. And how did Lemoore get its name? So first, it was called Latache, but it was renamed by a doctor named Laverne Lee Moore. Ooh, get it? Lee Moore. Okay, so that was his name. And then also, Lemoore became a city in 1900s, July 4th or the 11th, whichever you go with, Google or Wikipedia. Okay, so those are some things that are facts about Lemoore. So now we're going to go ahead and go with our discussions, and I want to introduce to you our panelists. First, with Ernest. Please introduce yourself.
Good evening, Central Valley, California, and to the rest of the viewers from all over the world. My name is Ernest. I'm the head deacon of the congregation of Lemoore.
Hello, everyone. I'm Levita, and I am the choir leader and also a finance officer in Lemoore.
And my name is Nestle. I'm their eldest daughter, and I'm also a choir member and a teacher in the children's worship service.
Nice. Thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate you being here. So I'd like to go first with Ernest and ask you about when you got to Lemoore. Tell us about your experience. How many families were there? Tell us why you ended up there.
First off, we ended up in Lemoore because of that was my duty station. I was assigned in Lemoore in 2001, coming from Japan, Atsugi, Japan. So it was a different experience because my previous duty stations were all urbanized, whereas when we got to Lemoore, it was different in a sense that lots of uh, agricultural lands and uh, a few houses, different from what we're stationed from.
But in regards with the local congregation from where we came from, the locale of Yokohama, it's a small congregation too, just like here in Lemoore. So our impression is to have a close knit like relationship, brotherhood in Lemoore, because like when we have in Yokohama, the brethren then are really close.
Okay.
So my family moved here in 2001, and as you might be able to tell, my dad is retired Navy. And growing up, since it is a small place, a small town, I used to ask, why is it that we stayed here in Lemoore and not go back to other cities that we were stationed in? And my parents always said that it's because it's a quiet town and it's a good place to raise a family.
That's
And
right.
so even though my dad retired in the military in 2006, we stayed in Lemoore. My mom set up her dental clinic here, and that's why we ended up staying.
Oh, amazing. Those are nice stories. So tell us about the stories when you first got there. Tell us what you saw and how did that make you want to stay there? What made you want to stay there in Lemoore? Tell
My
us more about that.
Yes, my very first impression was the brethren, specifically the young brethren in Lemoore. They are majority of them have duties like in children's worship service. They're either um, choir in CWS, other activities. I mean, other members. And I noticed that they spend the young ones, the young children, they spend their time between school activities and church activities. And in school, they're either members of the band, um, choir group, or involved in sports. And then in the church, they are active in participating in many of the activities. That's what I noticed. That was the very first impression that got to me when I saw the young children of Livermore.
And the same here with me, because as a choir leader, I see them grow because I knew them since they were born. So when I watch them grow, I'm so pleased that I just didn't see them like running around in the chapel, but now they're all with us in the choir. Those who were just
Majority.
little,
Mhm.
majority of my young choir members, I saw them born. So it's really nice, very pleasing to watch this young ones to be very faithful in the church.
Hmm. How about you, Nestle? Who were your playmates when you got there?
So a lot of my playmates now, they have moved away from Lemoore, but it's nice to see that they still come back. I think Lemoore will always be home for a lot of the brethren and a lot of my childhood friends. And also I grew up with a lot of older brothers, older sisters. So in Tagalog, it'd be my ates and kuyas. And even myself and my sister, we moved away for college. But then after we graduated, oh, I actually moved to Jill's local congregation, so it's nice
Oh,
to see her. Um, and even after school, we came back and we moved back home and we moved back to the local congregation of Lemoore. It's always nice. We always see Lemoore as home because that's where, as a family, we're performing our duties together and we're attending all the activities together in one place.
I
And
love
it's,
that.
let me just add to that. I'm proud to say that that Lemoore has produced soon to be minister, AJ,
oh, okay.
and we have um, Mayor Junior, right? So two ministers.
Very nice. Let me ask you, Nestle, why did you have to leave? Was Fresno State is here in nearest close to you? Why did you have to move to go to school?
Um, so we always pray to God for Him to lead us in our plans. And the major that I was pursuing wasn't available at Fresno State, or yes, at Fresno State, and so that's why I ended up going to the California Polytechnic in San Luis Obispo, which is close to the Santa Maria local congregation. So I moved away for school, which is a lot of the reason why young members move away, is because there's to seek other opportunities, because we're a small town, a lot of educational opportunities and also professional opportunities.
Yes,
Mhm.
I might add to that as well, but this is so full circle for me as well, because as Nestle mentioned, she did move to Santa Maria, but we actually went to college together at Cal Poly.
Oh,
This is very, very full circle for the both of us, especially for me, because when she first moved, years ago, we love her here in Santa Maria. Anytime we get to see her, she is just so kind and obviously so intelligent. So to be able to sit here with her parents, it's such an honor and such a pleasure to be able to speak with you. And I can definitely tell, that's where she comes from, or that's all where it all comes from. So thank you so much for being on our show. And it's always so great to hear these stories. And I remember her mentioning she was from Lemoore, and that was super small back then. And to see the growth of where it is now, it's amazing to witness.
nice.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that you both went to the same school. That's awesome.
and with that being said, Sister Terry, I also wanted to add how amazing it is that it also is one of the memorable things about the local congregation of Lemoore, is that even though in the past when we were at Cal Poly together, we were separate districts from Lemoore, and now it's been 8 years later, we're back together in one district. And Lemoore, the congregation, used to always be the furthest congregation from the district local congregations. But once we formed Central Valley, California, Lemoore now has been the venue for a lot of activities. And so it's also been so heartwarming to have activities and to see the brethren from Santa Maria and let them know, oh, welcome to my hometown, like welcome to my home locale.
Nice. Very nice. Those are so amazing to hear about your stories and things like that. Tell us, Levy, share with us some amazing memories that you've had there in Lemoore.
Oh, in regards with having my family every time I perform my duties, um, God has been blessed me with opportunities to help the other brethren through my practice. Because when we moved here, I was still doing my board exams, and when I passed the board exams, then I set up my dental practice here.
Wow.
So my office has always been open, especially for the brethren, and I'm so happy to give help in case we're needed to help.
Mhm. Is it hard to put up your office there?
Oh, not really po. I think because uh, Lemoore is just a small town, so and there's not a lot of dentists practicing here too. But we're catering to a different like I have the especially the military, the base. So it's not hard to establish a business because because of the companies and especially the base that is around Lemoore. So it's not really hard. And with God's help, of course, uh,
Mm.
God is sending me all the patients that I've been I have right now, because I didn't even advertise or anything like the other
Wow.
dentists, but I've been having patients thanks to our Almighty God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I do have to ask, since you've also been one of the pioneering, even though you're not the main pioneering families, but being one of them and seeing the growth of the church throughout all of these years, how does it feel to be able to, I know you touched on this earlier, seeing the young, choir members now here, but also seeing your daughter as being one of the leaders, growing up in the church, and now also, this is news to me, being a CWS teacher, and now, in that kind of aspect. How does that make you feel?
Oh, I feel so blessed, very grateful, because especially if in times that we're all together in the choir loft, my daughter's performing with me, my husband performing as the head deacon. So we're all together we consider the most sacred place in the chapel. So it makes my heart really I always feel great blessing from God, or so I'm so grateful every time, especially during the worship services, and every time I perform, having my family with me performing.
Mhm.
I
What about Ernest? How do you feel about that?
Um,
Having two of your daughters who are grown up there in Lemoore, and now they have this amazing and really blessed gifts from God as far as their offices go.
yes, the only thing I can describe it, the only way I can describe it is just uh, uh, joy, I great joy whenever I perform with my wife and my two daughters, and I'm so proud of them, because wherever they may be, like Nesty, she was separated from us for a while, but she did not stop performing her duty. She maintained her being a choir member, and then Hannah, right now she's in San Diego, uh, continuing her studies, and she remains to be a choir member and an organist,
Organist,
and
and
CWS.
the children's
Chairperson.
worship service chairperson as
Oh,
well.
Mm, yes, that's amazing. That's really amazing. When you came to Lemoore, Ernest, were you already a head deacon in Japan?
No,
That's a great story to tell
yeah,
too.
I was a secretary in Japan, and when we got to Lemoore, um,
The resident worker.
yeah, I was cleaning the chapel, and our resident worker, brother Steve Inocencio, he approached me and said, I don't know, maybe he's been watching me clean the chapel for a while, and then he asked me if I want to be
Head-
one of the head deacons. So
So
it was a surprise for me, but that's always a blessing every time.
Okay.
And 20 years later, he's still cleaning the chapel.
oh, I love that.
It's always the officers that get there first, and then they're always the last ones to leave. So, yeah, those are really nice and amazing stories. So, changing gears now, we're going to go ahead and get some pictures that were given to us. So, please enjoy the pictures if Kuya Tech is ready. Here we go. Pictures. There we are. Atinesli, would you like to talk about these?
Here's a lot of the pictures from historical pictures about the renovation of the chapel. And these are a lot of the pioneering brethren and officers who put together the congregation during its early days. A lot of these pictures, this is from last year during the 40th anniversary. And so now you see a lot of the brethren here are our brethren who grew up here and now they're raising their own families here, which is also nice to see. There's different generations, especially the brethren like the Benedicto and Enriquez families. And up until now, you can see that a lot of the youth members are very active. This is a lot. They
Facility
take part.
distribution.
They take part in a lot of God's message distribution drives and propagational activities, and also in activities for the edification of the and love of the brotherhood.
And it's also always heartwarming to see brethren that went to other locales and they still come back in Lemoore because they still have family here and spend special events with us.
Nice. That's very nice. So we have a special guest. Brother Edwin, are you there, po? Brother Edwin, there he is.
You're muted.
Yeah, she's muted. Brother Edwin,
There we
there
go.
you are.
Yes po. You hear
Yes.
me po?
How are you, po, Edwin?
I'm good po.
Yes. So tell us, Brother Edwin, how long you've been in Lemoore. I know that you're new, and if you can open your camera, and tell us about your experience in Lemoore so far.
Uh, First of all, thanks. Thank you for having me tonight.
Of course.
Sister Terry, Sister Jill, and the Cabero family. Thanks uh, for having me tonight. And well, we're very busy this week. Since it's our 41st anniversary, we started our Pasugo distribution last Thursday. And tomorrow morning, the continuation at the Heritage Park in Lemoore. And also in the afternoon, we will continue our activities by an evangelical mission. And after the evangelical mission, we will proceed to our 41st local anniversary celebration.
Wow, it's going to be a great party. So tell us, Brother Edwin, your aspirations and your future endeavors for the locale of Lemoore.
Well, as ministers assigned in every local congregation, it is our ardent desire that every brethren in the local congregation of Lemoore, it's our desire to continue to unite and submit to the church administration, because those things truly pleases our Almighty God.
Yes, I agree. Po. Do you have any shout outs for Brother Edwin? Someone you want to thank or anything like that? Want to greet?
Yeah, I would like to take this opportunity to greet our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and also to our deputy executive minister, Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo, for taking good care each one of us, the entirety of the church, and also to our district minister, Brother Isaias de Antonu, and all the ministers assigned in our district.
Thank you, po, Ka Edwin. We really appreciate your time for being here with us. And before we go to our shout outs with the Cavero family, I would like to ask Jill to tell us some YouTube comments that you've seen there. Jill?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much again, everybody, for tuning into our show. Thank you so much for our guests. So we do have a full house today. We have so many brethren coming from other districts. So thank you coming from Orange County. Looks like we have a lot from our district here. Well, wishing everybody a happy anniversary to Lemoore. We have from Santa Maria, we have from Delano, Bakersfield, more Lemoore. So more support from the entire district. Thank you so much for lots and lots of anniversary greetings. So very excited for you all to celebrate together tomorrow at the anniversary gathering. So thank you so much, everybody, again for tuning in. I will pass it back to you, Terry.
Nice. Thank you so much, Jill. So our last question for the Cavero family, any one of you can answer. Tell us, why has Lemoore been a home for you?
Like I mentioned before, it's a home because this is where not only our family can perform together, even though my sister and I are continuing to enter different chapters in our lives. There might not be another local congregation where we're all together for fulfilling our duties, and to be able to call Lemoore our home where we're all there performing our duties, and all the brethren we've grown up with and we're close with. That's why it makes it home. And it's a lot of people say that home is not technically the location, but it's the people who make it one. And so even if we move to other local congregations and we other the brethren from Lemoore in another place, they'll always make it our home.
Thank you. What about you, Ernest?
Well said, Ate. Well, home. Yeah, why Lemoore? Because this is where we have our duties. This is where we perform together. We have the brethren are close knit, and they're all majority are active, and we would like to see the brethren, other brethren, you're welcome to come to Lemoore. So that we'll be here performing.
Anything to add, Levy?
It's just like what they said. This Lemoore is home for us, but for me, it's because this is where we were blessed with duties where we can lead the brethren and help the brethren or encourage them to be stronger in their faith. So, and also, this is where I saw my children grow, not just become old, but become very strong in their faith.
Nice. Thank you. Do you have any shout outs for us? I'll start with you, Nestle.
Shout out to my sister
Oh,
who is in the
yes.
local congregation of Vista in San Diego. We miss her
Oh,
always.
yes.
And then also shout out to the Ates, or the big sisters, who helped raise us in the local congregation, Ate Leling and Ate Giname Tianco, or Giname Aglipay now. But hi, Ate Leling. I believe she's logged on right now.
Oh, okay. How about you, Ernest? Any greetings?
Yeah, shout out to all the brethren who, that we know, and there are too many to mention. And then shout out to our families in the Philippines mainly, and to other families that are not in the Philippines.
Right. Levy?
Special mention to those who brethren who were from Lemoore before, like the Win family, the Roque family.
Our previous ministers.
Our previous ministers, like Brother Steve Inocencio, Brother Relly Rivera, and there's a lot more.
Yeah.
I can't remember right now.
That's okay. So thank you so much, the Cabrera family. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you, and to our brother Edwin Ricardo for joining us. Thank you so much for all the listeners, for all our viewers. Thank you so much. But lastly, we would like to thank our brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our executive minister, brother Angelo Eranio Manalo, our deputy executive minister, and brother Wally Taray, our INC radio station manager. Again, thank you so much for joining us. To all our viewers, and everyone else out there. Please join us again next week, 9 p.m. every Friday. Thank you. Please take care. Bye-bye for now.
Happy weekend.
Otis na pagpamay nagtindig ka ng mga lingkod mo mangunguna sa bayan nga iyong inihala. Sa iglesia sila ay nagmamahal. Sa amin iyong ibiniyaya ang pamamahala na sa'yo nagmula. Isang lider upang manguna, pag-ibig sa iglesia ang ipinagpapauna. Mamahala na mapagmalasakit, alanganan sa aming kapakanan. Siya ay tunay na nagpapagal para sa kabuuan ng iyong kawan. Kaya dalangin sa iyo ng buong iglesia.